Before we begin with the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. It'll really help me out and encourage me to make more content similar to this one. Now without further ado, let's dive into the video. With the announcement of Resident Evil 9 Requiem on June 6th at the Summer Game Fest, it was great to see Capcom coming back to the scary single-player style of Resident Evil we've all loved over the years. I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with the story of the Outbreak games, and I played one of them a few years ago, but this news made me think a little bit. Since 2003, Capcom have tried making Resident Evil more multiplayer and couch co-op friendly. Today I'm going to discuss two games I feel Capcom should remake to capture this piece of the pie and make Resident Evil live service series that could work well. In 2020, Capcom released their first big dud in the world of live service multiplayer horseshit, Resident Evil Resistance. This game was a tie-in game and was bundled with the disappointment that was the Resident Evil 3 remake. This game had no story and was just an effortless cash grab to try and get in on the annoying Fortnite trend. Sorry, I have no love for a game that makes Kratos and Darth Vader do the fucking floss. You know Capcom has confidence in a multiplayer game when it doesn't have any dedicated servers for it. Another thought is this whole mastermind concept where you set traps and such. I don't want to be the guy in the chair in a game like this. I want to play as popular villainous characters such as Mr. X, Hunk, Verdugo, or Nemesis. On the survivor side of things, the only person of note is Jill Valentine. For a game like this, don't you want more recognizable survivors such as Leon Kennedy, Chris Redfield, and Ada Wong alongside Jill? Also, it would have been nice if these random characters had a strong story behind them that connected them to the Outbreak in Raccoon City, or even a reason as to why they're in Resident Evil style saw traps. Another Resident Evil multiplayer game that flopped was RE-Verse in 2022. This game was originally supposed to tag along with Resident Evil Village, but wasn't ready in time. Now, RE-Verse looked like it had potential with fan-favorite characters from across the series of games. Also here you can play as popular villains from RE3 to RE8. Support from Capcom ends on this game on June 29th, 2025. If I was a multiplayer gamer, I could see the fun in this being a well-known hero character from the series that, upon being mutating into a monster from the series, my pick would be Nemesis. What went wrong here was just limited variety in ways to play. First, there is only one style of match, deathmatch. Might not have other popular character types, but with a Resident Evil twist. Have a capture the flag become a capture the vaccine where everyone is infected and everyone fights to recover from the T-virus. Have a take on horde mode or survival. Just have more variety to keep players interested and have ways for this to enrich in the connections to the established Resident Evil canon. Also, there didn't seem to be much in terms of map variety, as the only locations were the RPD and the Baker Estate. Both locations look fun and give the chance to explore well-known locations and chase each other around them. So here's my proposal. With the news of Resident Evil 9 and the lead character being Grace Ashcroft, there is now connections to a popular Resident Evil co-op title, Resident Evil Outbreak. After Capcom releases RE9 and finishes support for that title, they need to have a team work on remaking Outbreak. Now all this game needs is a fresh coat of paint with modernized controls and nothing else needed. Keep the story of each character, the mechanics that made it popular, and the story of playing as an infected character working to resist the infection. With modern technology, combine Outbreak File 1 and 2 into one game. Create dedicated service for this game, enhance NPCs with smarter AI, but just keep the core game and add modern conveniences. Lastly, show us what happened to Alyssa Ashcroft as she investigated Renwood Hotel as an epilogue that can tie into RE9. When I played this a couple years ago, I didn't care for it, but if this game were to get a modern coat of paint with modern conveniences, I'll definitely give it another chance. There can be a live service element to this as well. Think about it for a second. What if there were more stories to explore during the outbreak of the T-virus? There could be stories of people trying to survive the Nemesis as he rampages through the city. There could be stories of survivors stranded in Arclay Mountains as various animals are infected and begin to hunt survivors down. There could also be outbreak stories that take place after Raccoon City is nuked off the map as well. If more engaging stories were created in the world of Outbreak, there are a variety of stories and gameplay styles that can be introduced in a version of Outbreak. Between Outbreak Files 1 and 2, there are 1,663,881 copies of these games sold. Even today, there is a cult following hungry for a remake for this game, and the fire still burns for this game, thanks to channels such as Residents of Evil. Now, if atmospheric horror isn't your taste, I have another idea as well. well. I want to see a remake of Operation Raccoon City. I enjoy the thrills and chills of this series is well known for, but when I got my hands on Operation Raccoon City, I was trying to figure out how I missed this game. With 3.5 million units sold, it seems that this game would be deemed a success, right? Well, around that time, the game had heavy hitters to contend with such as Armored Core 5, Ninja Gaiden 3, Mario Party 9, and the Silent Hill HD collection, as well as Mass Effect 3, which didn't bode well for Operation Raccoon City. This game has my name written all over it because I'm a Gears of War fan, so having a Resident Evil game where I get to go in guns blazing would have me frothing at the mouth to get my hands on it. I missed this game because Mario Party 9 had come out and I wanted to play this game with my wife on release, so Operation Raccoon City flew under the radar for me. Now, a game that takes place with the outbreak in full swing and you get to play in key moments of the series such as dealing with William Birkin and programming the Nemesis Tyrant, sign me up. Also, you get to build a team in a single player and have a loadout for yourself as well. Also, like in Outbreak games, there's an infection element to this where if you're bitten, you're infected, and if you take too long to heal, you become a zombie. In single player mode, this game is over, but in multiplayer, your teammates can shoot you down and then revive you. If only I had 3 friends with this on their 360 so that we can try it around, but since that's not an option, I'll have to sit and dream on it. This game would scratch the itch for those who want to go into Raccoon City and lay waste to everything in sight. In the story, you encounter zombies, UBCS soldiers, key Resident Evil characters, and other tyrants as well. In conclusion, if you want an atmospheric horror narrative that you can play on the couch with a friend, Resident Evil Outbreak is for you. If you want a Gears of War style shooter where you take on all comers, Operation Raccoon City is your ticket. Both titles have great multiplayer elements as well as have potential for live service elements that don't suck. With Outbreak, there's limitless stories that can be told in various scenarios that put you at the front lines of the outbreak itself. I'd like to see a story take place in a university where you're chased by a tyrant and that you have to run and hide to escape. I've had nightmares about this before. With Operation Raccoon City, you can incorporate extra missions for different classes of soldiers to execute. You could have a Splinter Cell-like mission where stealth is your only option, killing only when necessary. You can infiltrate the Nest facility and help Leon bring down William Birkin in his final form. Both games have the ability to be great multiplayer titles that have a variety of playstyles to keep Resident Evil fans eating well after Resident Evil Requiem launches next year. Until next time, I'll see you in Raccoon City, my koopalings. If you liked what you just watched, like the video and subscribe to the channel. It'll help the channel grow and encourage me to make more content just like this.